What's up guys, welcome to your 43rd Java tutorial, and in this video we're going to be learning how to read and write files, that is read into a file and write into a file. But in this episode we're not going to be using fancy files, we're just going to be using text files, so that we're going to make this concept very easy. So reading and writing of files is based on the concept of Java I/O, that is Java input and output. So whenever you are writing to a file, you are outputting, and when you are reading from a file, you are inputting. So let's get to it and let's see how we create files and read from them and write to them. So first we're going to create an integer I, which we are going to be knowing the usefulness of it very soon. And next, let's create a file input stream object, and let's call it fin. So let's add the import. Now let's create a try and catch block, because this operation we're about to do throws an exception. So fin equals to new file input stream, and as a parameter to the constructor we're going to give the path of the file which we are trying to open. So I already created a file here inside my American Dad folder. So if you want to get the file path, just come here and select this arrow down button and select everything and copy. So here, let's add this here, and now let's give the name of the file which we are trying to open, new text document.txt. Don't forget to add the extension. Now this is an unreported exception, so let's catch it here, a file not found exception. So if the file isn't found, it's going to throw this exception, and what do we want to happen when we get this error? So let's just print out file not found. So let's add our imports for this. Next is we're going to try to read from the file. Since we've opened the file, what we want to do now is to read from the file. So now let's create a do while loop. So do I equals to fin dot read, and variable fin might not have been initialized, and okay, this shows an IO exception. So let's come here and throws IO exception. So let's add our import, and this says fin might not have been initialized. Let's add this equals to null. So when we read from the file, if I is not equals to -1, now if I is equals to -1, what this means is that we have reached the end of the file. So if we haven't reached the end of the file, what do we want to do? Well, we want to print out what's in the file. So system out println. Now there's something about what I'm about to do now. Now whenever we read from a file, this I here is actually byte, because we're using a file input stream, and an input stream gives us bytes. So what we're actually reading into this I is actually bytes, but what we as humans want to read is characters. So we should actually cast this bytes into characters. So now that this is going to take care of that, while I is not equals to -1. So after everything, we want to close the file. So that's that. So let's run the file and let's see what we have. Okay, so let's change this to print. Nope. Print. So we can print everything on a single line. So hello, my name is Sheriff, and this is a simple text document, nothing fancy. So let me open the file, and as you can see, that's what we have inside the file. Hello, my name is Sheriff Oladejo, and this is a simple text document and nothing fancy. So now, how do we write to a file? It's actually pretty straightforward and similar to this. All we need to do is just a file output stream, and let's call it fout. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be copying and pasting. So we're going to read from this file, and then we're going to create a second file and write to that file. So that's copy and pasting. So now that we've created this fout, let's initialize it also. So fout equals to new file output stream. So as a parameter, So here you're going to be given the name of the file which you want to write it into. So I'm going to be writing on into paste.txt. So you can give it any name you want, and this is going to throw a file not found exception if this program was unable to create this file here. So now that it's just that we're going to be reading from this and writing to this, now it's pretty easy. Here is where we read. So anytime we read, instead of printing out here, we want to write to the file. So fout.write I what's it saying? I want to have initialized, so equals to null. So after everything is done, let's close it. Fout.close. So we don't need to run this line anymore. So let's run this. Build successful. So now that the build has been successful, let's go to the the folder. So as you can see, this paste file has been created and it's just 81 bytes. So let's open it. And as you can see, we've written hello, my name is Sharif Oladejo, and this is a simple text document. So that is how you open and write to a file and also read from a file. Now you can see I'm using this fout.close and fin.close, and that's because whenever you are done writing or reading from a file, you always want to close it. So on a normal day, in this try and catch, probably we had the finally block, you should do these closing operations in the finally block. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.